live from the Capsule. This is another one of those live streams. I appreciate anybody who's checking in on me. I'm excited for this week. It's a holiday week, so usually I'm off in the middle of the week. So it's funny that this week I want to say like Thanksgiving and Christmas. I usually have like Wednesdays and Thursdays off. Like the middle of the week, I kind of break that up. It ended up working out that way when my son was a lot younger because I was able to take care of him on those days. I didn't need a babysitter. My mother and my wife's mother also helped out, so we really didn't have to pay for childcare early on. Let me go ahead and close this door because the kids are still sleeping and I don't want to wake them up, right? Like early. They're off of school as well this week. And we back, baby. So that's good for them. They get a little break. They get to hang out. On Wednesday, I'll probably, we'll kick it all day and we'll go do stuff and we'll go to the park and I'll, spend a little change with them and all that good stuff. I definitely have to say I do have a very good work-life balance where there's a lot of people that say that that's not achievable. Like, and when I say people, I'm talking about mostly influencers online, people trying to sell courses, people trying to put you on a career path that maybe you're late to, and now you're trying to like make up for lost time, and you're trying to get good at tattooing in 2 years where it took somebody that you're admiring 25 years to get to where they're at. And now it's just like, I have no time for play. I have no time for sleep. I have no time for speaking with my wife. I have to just draw and tattoo all day long, every day, because that's the only thing that's going to get me good. That works. But, life has a lot of components. Life has a lot of components. I'm one of those guys that when I was young, I was a hustler. I've always been one of those guys. I've always chased it. I've always seen the goal in the middle of the field and started to prep myself of what I needed to do to get there. Who did I need to speak to get there? What do I need to do? So I always kind of have like that preconceived notion of what needs to happen. And, a perfect example of where that took place in my life is before I had children, my mother told me, she said, hey, when you have kids, things are going to change for you. Because back then I used to work, like I used to bust ass, I used to have like little side hustles and stuff like that, where I used to like sell sneakers and sell gear and sell merch, but not my own. It's like sometimes, stuff that was hot or stuff that was knocked off or stuff that I just happened to get opportunistically somehow. Jordans, hats, jewelry, fronts. I bought a motorcycle one time and kind of sold it. So things like that. And then I cut hair all day. I went to cosmetology school and I used to cut hair. And then I used to also do art and tattoo. So I was like all day. Hey, what's going on, guys? MD Joel, nice to have you in the chat. And that was always my thing. Like I said, I've always been a hustler, always been a grinder. So I used to work like all day, every day. And then I was young, so I had time to be able to hang out with my wife and stuff like that after. And but my mom used to always tell me, she's like, man, you work all the time. You're working all the time. I'm like, yeah, but I have all the stuff I like, and I like to do what I do. So there's no harm done. And she told me, she says, hey, when you have kids, things are gonna change for you. And I used to tell him, like, yeah, that's for everybody else. I'm not that guy. I'm self-sufficient. I'm King Kong on top of the mountain guy. And yeah, that should change, dude. As soon as I hi from India. India in the house, man. We getting worldwide with it. Thank you very much for chiming in. My name is Manny Cabrera, and my channel is called Live from the Capsule. I try to go live a few times a week, and I'm focused mostly on art and its representation and correlation with life in itself, and how I can bring that to you. And it was one of those things that gave me a very good understanding of you don't understand the richness of the color that the hallway walls are painted on until you're at that floor. I just made that up. You don't know. You know it's green. You know it's green, but you don't know how rich that green is. You don't know, where on the value scale it is. You don't know enough about it to make a decision. And that's what it's like with having kids. That's what it's like with like home ownership. That's what it's like when you own a business. When you're a responsible member of any type of community. When you're a responsible partner slash husband slash head of household. There's a lot of things that come into play, and you can't just work all day long. That's unrealistic. And more often than not, Gary Vaynerchuk, I'm going to get off my rant and I'm going to go back to what this video is supposed to be about. And it's supposed to be about influence and finding happiness in the work that you do. And I'm going to kind of show you and kind of speak about my ebbs and flows and show you guys a tattoo that I did last week. And how I made that stencil, what I did, how happy I was with it, how happy the client was with it, and all that good stuff. Again, so I just didn't know, I just didn't know. And you can't. And Gary Vaynerchuk, I'm going back to that idea. Gary Vaynerchuk is a very big name online. He's an influencer. He's a businessman, runs an agency, is super big on social media. Amazing guy, at least from my perception of him. And he says that. He says, hey, you want to see a lot of people that feel like they made the wrong choices? And when they were around, when they were up and up, they thought they knew it all? Go to a nursing home. Go to a nursing home. Ask some questions. Ask the guy, go and speak to the nurses and find out who's the richest, who's the most eloquent, where do they come from? Get all this information and then go speak to the ones that you think that are like, oh no, this guy was the guy. They're going to tell you that they don't know what the fuck they were doing. And they would have done it all different if they could have done it all over again. More often than not. There are things that they're proud of, sure. But those workaholic guys that built the legacy and I haven't got the information myself. So I'm just speaking through, things that I've heard and things that I feel in myself that resonate with me. I'm a child of, there's 6 in total of us. Plus I have extended family. So like, husbands and wives of these 6 siblings. And my family wasn't big on having kids. Like my mom used to do daycare and take care of kids and stuff, all that stuff. And just from me seeing, like I'm the youngest, seeing what my brothers and sisters do, how their life turned out, how it's panning out, I'm going to be 100%. I think that there's some of them that look back and say like, yeah, that wasn't the best choice. And hey, they don't have to say it. They don't have to. I can tell. Because you could only see the color and richness of that when you get to that floor. You can't explain it. It's something that you have to take that chance and you have to. I don't even know what I'm trying to say and what tangent I'm trying to go off of, but you can't just work all day. You can't just work all day. As much as I love what I do, and even in this channel, like that's what I'm trying to play out, how like art and life are so similar. If you really look at it in that light, everything I think of, everything I draw, whenever I'm looking at lighting, whenever I'm looking at personality, I can always relate that back to what I'm doing. All right. So after going on that crazy tangent of like, I don't even know what my point was. I want to say thank you for everybody that chimes in every day, that looks forward to my content, that likes my artwork. You can follow me on Instagram at Art by Manny. That's where I'm like really, really active usually. As far as like posting daily on the stories, you can kind of see what I do day to day as far as like my drawing and stuff like that. All right, so today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna pull my iPad with the case that's falling apart. Promise, gonna get a new case for y'all. Boom. And I'm gonna open this up and show you guys something, man. I want to show you guys. And like I said, I'm not sure if on live I'll be able to, like, it would be really cool if on live, and I'm not gonna say I'm sure. Bras Bali. What's up? Number 2. I appreciate you checking in. I'm not sure if you can do it on live, but I know you could do it on regular video where you'll be able to like post screen and screen, but on in live would be great. So I'm gonna check this out, guys. So this is, you know, those are all files of just like artwork and artwork and artwork and artwork. But it'd be really cool to just like be able to like pull that up, you know what I mean? And be able to show you guys really cool without having to bring my screen in that way. But give me one moment and I will bring that up. So bang, boom. So this right here is Trinity. Trinity is, welcome to the live chat, Browsy Bali. Are you from Bali? I was actually just listening to a tattooer talking about how there's a lot of people going to Bali to get really big tattoos in really small amount of time. So this right here is Trinity. It's a Dutch Shepherd. I tattooed her client. I want to say her name was Casey. Very nice lady. She trains. She has 2 of these and has had many dogs throughout her life, but she trains. And I would like to show you really quickly. I'm gonna pull it up here, and you guys are gonna see kind of my process, right? I'm gonna bring this up, and then I'm gonna hit right here. I'm on actions on Procreate, and I'm gonna hit time lapse replay. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna show me how I took the pictures, how I moved it, boom, how I made that stencil, all that good stuff, and it's gonna bring us right back to this. And then I'm gonna go off on a little bit of tangent of about influence, about overthinking things, about finding the worth in the work, and also the process of like discovering as you go, because this is one of those projects where like it's Trinity's a brindle Dutch Shepherd, but that brindle is like a dark, it almost looks black, you know what I mean, in the picture, especially like it's a front facing picture, and it almost looks like the dog is black, but the dog is not black. The dog is brindle. And these are the small things and intricacies of what I was talking about when you get into tattooing, that she knows this dog. Those small intricacies are what makes this dog what it is. So I have to be the one to study, look at, and try to recapture, because I don't hang out with this dog every day, but she does. And she's coming to me because she feels that I'm professional enough to, you know, capture that picture. But there's things that she sees in it that I don't see in it. So that's where the questions come in. That's where I take, I try to get multiple pictures from multiple angles, just so I can get the best possible result. And I'll show you guys the finished tattoo on this one. So bang. So we're on actions, Procreate. I'm actually going to take a Procreate class soon. That's something else that I want to start incorporating into the channel. It gives me something to talk about. It pushes me to take courses, find out, really study, really take these courses with certification, not going down YouTube University. Because what happens with YouTube University, at least for myself, is that I do find interesting things, I do find interesting information, but what happens is I end up not finishing. There's you know, I'm gonna go back to that, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk. He says that a lot as well, and I find that in myself, that like I need accountability. I need somebody to be accountable for. That's going to require me to finish this. Why I've taken my fitness, and I would probably say like my finance a little bit more serious, is not for myself. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. It's not because I'm, you know, looking out for number one. I'm doing that as a byproduct, because I know that the better health that I'm in, and the better example that I give my children, the better off they're gonna be. And then on top of that, the better I am financially, the better they're gonna be. So that's why that's happening. That's not because I've sat down and said, like, hey, I'm gonna, because me. It's not. And when I start to do this, and the learning of new skill sets, and implementing that, yeah, it's cool. It's cool to know things and make things easy, but really it's more for you guys and the client. The client benefits the most from this, Why? Because they get somebody that knows the tools, that knows the sources, the resources that they could get down to the bottom of. If they get a picture that's blurry, and how do we make this crispy? I know how to do that. How do we merge these two images and make them seamless? I know how to do that without stressing myself out. Because the most laxed person should be me in this endeavor. Again, loco, it can go on. I'd be on that, and I don't know how good that is for interaction with YouTube, but I'm sure that there's people that have conversations with me and they're like, "Nigga, get to the point already." I'm saying that to myself, watching myself, man. Fucking funny. So we're gonna go to the little range. Time lapse replay. Bang. Here it goes, guys. See that little red, that's popping up on this one? So you see that I had a color version on the other side. You see like the little redness showing up, right? That's me stenciling. I'm on a top, like let's say I'm on a transparent layer on top and I'm making a stencil. That was what I originally showed you, the first, right? You see it? I'm just tracing and finding the shapes and what makes this dog look like it does. Like, what is it? What is it, right? You see it, bang. We're just gonna kind of let it do its thing, man. You can see, and then I pop in, pop out. Initially, you see I had a color version. You see I have another picture of Trinity right above, and that's where it ended, right there, right? That's where I initially had showed you guys. So in that, let me see if I can even pause that real quick. Is there a way to pause it? No, there isn't. But in that video itself, you can see that I went through multiple thought processes. That's really cool to watch for myself even. I watch it sometimes really quickly, but me watching it, you guys watching me, because I'm right here, I'm on my phone, right? And my phone is giving me kind of a reflection of myself and what I'm sounding like or doing, whatever. My pre-workout's starting to kick in, so I'm gonna have to get off of here real quick. In about, I'm gonna do this to about 25. I'm gonna do a 25-minute live. We're at 17 minutes right now. So it shows the thought process. Like I started. I brought the pictures in. She brought all the references in. I checked and I seen which one we were going to use, which one she wanted. And then she had said that Trinity has more of a white muzzle now. Because they're one of those breeds that kind of, they have a gene that if you catch it, you go gray early. But Trinity's about 2-3 years old. So I ended up looking, and then I found the picture of the one that had the whitest muzzle of Trinity. But that wasn't the picture I was using. But I was still taking that into account as I was doing the stencil. And then I had like a color version at one point where it was like, I don't know if I can see everything in the black and gray. I want to go to the color version just to give myself more resources, more things to grab on to get better information. Another thing that I feel helps a lot is always to be, I guess, humble enough to not only look out into the internet, because that's kind of what we do anymore anyway, right? ChatGPT, Google, the internet, YouTube, right? You don't ask anybody next to you. Like, what would you do? How do you do this? Boom, boom. And I'm one of those guys that I do, dude. And I ask like a motherfucker and I tell. Whenever anybody says like, hey man, that piece was really, the first thing I do is tell you, oh yeah, I used this, I did that, and did this. I don't even take the praise for it being good. I just want to share the information of how I got to that. And also today's video is about influence and what influences you to do what you do, and how you can continually find those things along the way to kind of continue to propel you forward. Because motivation is one of those things that comes and goes. You know, it's fleeting. It comes, you're motivated, you want to do things all day, every day, you're seeing the results, and then all of a sudden it feels good to crash out on the couch and not do shit. And that's okay because we're human, right? We have ebbs and flows. It's just like the heart monitor. It's up and down, up and down. You know, there's a lot of it, a lot of variables. So what influences you and how you can find things along the way. And to do that is to put systems into place. What I've found for myself, and you kind of keep hearing it and repeating it, is to kind of put systems in place where you're constantly doing things and it almost becomes repetitive, but you find value within the results of that work. So, you know, working out is like number one. You know, if you work out, you do it consistently, like almost daily, like the 2 to 3 times a week is like enough to stay alive. I believe, my personal opinion, my genetic, everything I've done in my life, 2 to 3 days a week is just enough to stay alive, just to get enough blood flow where you're not, feeling like you're gonna rot in the couch next time you sit down in it. If you do it daily, you it brings vitality. You can feel the blood flow, and then you also see the results and how things get easier and how you start to figure things out. Like, oh, I don't want to do that exercise this way. I'm gonna do it this way because I feel like it gives me more results. Is it dying? Sorry, guys. I have like these little lights. Yeah, these shits die quick, huh? I guess. Sorry, man. I'm gonna be right back. So, anyways, there's these small lights, and they don't seem like they're very good quality. I got two big ring lights here that are on post and they're plugged in. These two are like rechargeable. I'll give you guys a tour soon enough. My desk is a fucking mess. Like this desk that I'm sitting on is a fucking mess. Because my daughter puts all her after school stuff here, and then I kind of have to go through it and make sense of it and see what we want to keep and what we're going to throw in the garbage, and then I end up putting that stuff in a bin, end up bringing it to the garage. Then I also have a little bit of, clerical stuff here, which we kind of put our mail, but I would love to make this area, and even that there's like a closet slash Murphy bed behind me. I'd like to set that up in a way, and maybe put my collectibles along this top here with some lighting up there. I think that'd be really fucking cool, but you know, that takes work, and I need to get to the bottom of that if I want to happen. But what influences you in the working out? That in the tattooing, in the drawing, in the art, as you try to figure things out, as you are nervous trying to finish a project, you're going to figure things out, which is going to level you up and level you up and level you up. And that right there is your influence. That right there is your motivation. When you look back on your own stuff, when you look back, it happens to me, and I'm sure it happens not only to me, but to me, right? Where two things happen and have happened and continue to happen. Where there's guys that when I first started tattooing, were phenomenal in my eyes. My perception of them were like, these guys are where I would love to be. If I can do that, I'd be good. And now I look at their work and I'm like, not that good. You know what I mean? I'm sure I could probably do that tattoo better, sharper, cleaner. And that right there is just growth. That's all that is. It's not knocking anybody. It's just that I'm continually getting better. There's people that stay stagnant and or that start to recede because they don't care anymore. They're just burnt out or they're just doing good enough. But that and then I look at my stuff like, Facebook has a freaking great thing, like that time hop thing, where it's like, yo, 2011, this is what you did. This is the same day, 7 years ago, 7 years later. What picture do you want to put to, you know, show the growth? And man, do I see shit. Do I see shit that I used to do, things I used to say, and I'm just like, oh shit, fuck. I've come a long way since then. My tattoo work has definitely come tenfold, and still has way more to grow. I have way more to learn, which in turn makes it fun for me. I appreciate you guys very much. Like I said, it's 25 minutes on here. I kind of went all over the place. I wanted to show you guys the tattoo, the final tattoo before I check off. That's what we're going to do, dude. Can't leave you guys without showing you the final tattoo, dude. And this was the final tattoo of Trinity. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool project to do. It was tough to do a brindle, like I said, a brindle dog. And she didn't want any background. I could have went for a little background, little fuzziness back there, but she was all set, and she just wanted Trinity to be on the front of her leg like that. And yeah, thank you guys again for watching. Anybody for checking in. We went a little bit over. We went 26 minutes, but this is Manny Cabrera live from the Capsule. I'm gonna try to feed you guys with another bit of information throughout the day. I'm gonna try to drop a short. It's 500 or bust. We're trying to get the 500 subs. Come along for the ride. I appreciate you. Thank you much.